One of the things that we're talking about when it comes to the Dow Jones and the worldwide financial crisis is that back in 2008, stockmarketfunding.com, understanding that the boom from the housing market was going to bust, is what it would look like in our 36-month model. We are approaching our 36-month model in it will be 36 months in March. And within that 36-month model, there were periods of times over here in 2009 where we had put the lows in. And we ran and we re-leveraged the market and injected just about everything we could and every social program around. Worldwide governments had an extreme misfit and everything, but everybody benefited up to this point. With the major crisis at hand now, this was all the Band-Aid effect that we said. And that there would be consequences to Federal Reserve governors from the U.S. structure to various components around the world. How societies change, the financial systems are burdened with debt that we had talked about back in 2006 and 2007. We know that what started over here could end up here. It could end right back here where the breakout was. These were the areas where we were. However, now that we're at the crisis point once again, the super committee cannot make a decision right now. What does that mean? Well, guess what? Worldwide markets outside of the U.S. are at their knees again, just as the financial crisis was right over here in 2009. The super committee right now is going to have to come out during our holiday week, and they could send worldwide markets further down, and the debt crisis could reach extremely high levels. And if we don't set the stage correctly here in the United States, then how's the rest of the world going to deal with their problems right now? Understanding that the global financial platform that the world exists on today is quite different than it was 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, or 30 or 50 years ago, or 75 years ago. The problem is, because of the amount of debt and the lack of visibility, we could end up collapsing on the Dow if the super committee does not do the right thing this Thanksgiving holiday week. You could end all the way back up here, and we could have a major sell-off worldwide if the United States can't show any leadership. They have to show the leadership. But you know what? They have to come to agreements that are going to work for the United States economy and its society. And worldwide societies in the financial system are acting up all over the world right now. We're having problems throughout the United States of America in its homeland with people protesting. And if things were going well, you wouldn't have these severe problems. What the concern is, how do those problems escalate in the actual societies as we understand them today, and where our society is in its financial capital system? It lives under, it operates under, and that's what life is about in the U.S. And when that is coming to a jeopardy, what does that mean? The behavior in humanity changes to a very high degree. the risk-on behavior in humanity, as we know it, when things are going well, people are very friendly around us and things like that. But when things aren't going very well and people are being kicked out of their homes, just like bulldozers running them over, people are not having their jobs, and people are feeling the frustration of a failed government. And government, when it's not doing the right thing or things aren't acting right, well, then it's general societies around the world. Doesn't matter what society in the world it is all affected the very same way, and that's in the financial crisis. When financial crises are going to escalate, certain things are going to happen. And that's where things get bad, and one must prepare themselves. And how do you do that? Well, at the Dow, if they don't do the right thing and the Dow wants to come all the way down, there's a lot of money to be made in bear funds. There's lots of money in bear 3x ETFs. There's lots of ways that you can take care of yourself and make good of it. It's not the greatest way of wanting to make money, by seeing people suffer around the world within the financial capital systems that are on a global platform, and how that carryover from the failing ones carry over into the U.S. productivity and U.S. corporate earnings. What happens to those earnings? They go down. If they go down in value, because worldwide financial events increase within the various structures around the world in societies, is that things diminish. And that means that each country and every society is going to be looking out for its own best interest as we move forward into 2012 up to 2020. And as each year goes by, there'll be a progressive impact from the system that we're currently under. Cannot bear too much more. There must be some kind of changes, and here we are going into a major period of time with worldwide events out of Portugal, Greece, Egypt right now. You've got your Italians, you've got your Europe, you've got all your countries there and societies there that are being affected. Human behavior, your human behavior within your society will change in a way that the more that people feel that they're being abused or more that is taken away from them, the more ornery or angry they will become. So, when it's relative to the Dow Jones and the collapse, remember that the market was over here. Now, the U.S. banking system is not nearly as much trouble as the European banking system, nor the Italy system, and nor the Ireland system, and nor the Portugal system, or Germany, or France, and England. No. Our financial system has had time to repair during the 2009 and the 2010 rally up to the highs here, but the problem is they're very much at risk. Why are they at risk? And look at here. This is where it all started in the U.S. down here in the Dow. And we were here trading this whole move up. And the problem that we have now, when we take a look at these diagonal trend lines, this is a long-term coming right through here, and this is a weekly chart. So let me show you that if the super committee doesn't do right, worldwide markets could sell down. It would trigger lots of stop losses in the market. People would be selling out of extreme fear and capitulating, and the short side of the market would be paying all the money at the cash register, as that scenario could happen. I'm not saying that it happens right away. There are time lapse after liquidity injections in the capital system. You generally can get at least a 6-month to a 9-month forward-looking favorable period of time where you put the Band-Aid on the cut, but then the Band-Aid's going to come off again later on. It's inevitable that it's going to need a lot of stitches, and even then, that might not help. However, it's very important that people understand that in a collapse, such as the Super Committee in Washington, D.C., I'm not saying that they're going to do bad. I hope that they can do good together, because it's about time. The educated people that they are and the kind of training that they've had hopefully will be applied. However, should this not happen, there is a consequence in the financial world around the world. And the people that want to learn more about it, send an email to info@stockmarketfunding.com. There is a way for you to survive in that kind of environment. On the other hand, if they do well and we get things going well, then people act differently, and that changes the environment. So there is upside to everything. If the house can get put in order, then every place around the world can get put in order. But the debt that is on top of the world, the amount of debt owed right now, if all of that marker had to be called in at one time, they couldn't pay it. They can't. And I tell you the truth that they can't. We've known it for a number of years, and that eventually it could potentially come to this. So the chart is very clear. The diagonal trend line is from the 2009 low right here, and this is the 2011 top on a weekly chart coming right here. We're in this apex. This is the longer uptrend for this calendar year. If we break below it, well, we have a long ways to go down. So if the Super Committee doesn't act right, we could hit right about 12,600 and some change on here. And if we break that, going in that scenario, we have a long ways to go back down. And I can tell you that financial crisis needs to be addressed so that we can be the ones who set the example. And that's why the Dow is at a very high risk. Outside of all the chart analysis and everything you want to do, it's going to come down to one thing. If we're going to go higher and have a healthy environment in the USA, then we need to start getting our house in order. The Super Committee is coming out this week. I can tell you right now that markets will, if they don't sell off that day, it will come a few days later or a month later, whatever the case is, but there'll be a lot of turmoil in the financial markets if the Super Committee in the USA does not come to a conclusion this weekend. Postponing it is not good enough.